Hi guys, it's John Wildy. I'm here to talk to you a little bit today. After 9 years as a CRNA and 7 years as a full-time locum and running locumCRNA.com, I am trying to give you some good information to help you out on your journey. Super big, important information today. We're going to talk about malpractice insurance, the copies of insurance, the National Practitioner Data Bank, NPI. So let's get into it. Hi CRNAs and SRNAs. I was just looking on the CRNA and SRNA page, and I thought we needed to go over a few things because I was seeing some of the comments on the National Practitioner Data Bank, your NPI or National Provider ID number, and related to malpractice and malpractice insurance and understanding malpractice insurance. So I think we need to go back to the beginning a little bit and start with there. So when we talk about malpractice insurance, we talk about two different types. So those two different types are occurrence or claims made. So the way I like to think about it is, if you work for a period of time, say 2018 to 2019, and you get your own insurance, you can have one of those two types of policies, either occurrence or claims made. So if I just want to be covered for the time that I am working, 2018 to 2019, and I want the cheapest policy possible, I'm going to say I want a claims made policy. Claims made means that for 2018 and 2019, while I have the insurance and I pay my deductible or my premiums, I'm covered. But once my policy terminates, I'm not covered. So for 2018 and 2019, if anything happens while I'm paying my premium, then I'm covered. It's like homeowners insurance. While you have the house and you continue to pay your premiums, your house is covered. But if you sell your house, then you no longer have that insurance. You're not paying a premium. And you can't go back to your insurance in 2020, even though you sold your house in 2019, and say, oh, well, I had this roof issue, and I need to make a claim now in 2020, even though I stopped paying for my insurance in 2019. That's a different type of policy. So your type of policy that would have you covered for 2018, 2019, if you want the cheapest type, you get a claims made, but that's only if a claim is made while you're paying for your policy. If you have to leave a job and you have that claims made policy and you say, well, I want to make sure I'm still covered, that's called a tail. You have to buy the coverage just in case somebody makes a claim 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 18 years from now. If it's a pediatric case, or if there's some reason that they wouldn't be held competent until they were older, then that could be more indefinite. So your coverage could need to stay in force for 18, 20, 22 years, and that doesn't make it worth paying your premium for those next 18 to 22 years. So you buy a thing called the tail, usually held in with your insurance carrier. So if you had the claims made for 2018, 2019 and said, I need to buy a tail, it's anywhere from 2 to 5 times the annual policy price to buy that tail. And that's just general information. That's not guaranteeing that your provider will charge that much. I only know the basics of a claims made policy. And I'm going to show you my face sheet for my insurance, which is held through AA&A Insurance Services. And there's a couple of reasons I went that route, but I'm not trying to advocate for a specific company. I'm trying to advocate the type of coverage. So I have what's called occurrence policy. And occurrence policy means that I maintain a policy for myself while I'm working. So I've had a policy ever since, say, 2009 or 11. I don't remember. So I got out of the military in 2011. So I've had an occurrence policy through AA&A somewhat different because of the state that I was in, but I have an occurrence policy, AANA. The occurrence policy means that anything that occurs within the time of my insurance coverage is covered. Whether they make a claim today or during the policy period, if I decide to leave anesthesia in 2019, even if something happens in 2019 and I don't get sued until 2032, I should be covered through the malpractice insurance because it's an occurrence-based. Occurrence-based also means I don't have to buy a tail. I figure that's better for me because I think if I were to be sued with a claims-made policy, I'm guessing that my tail coverage and my insurance premium will skyrocket. There's nothing, I don't have an experience that tells me that, but understanding how insurance works and how homeowners insurance works and car insurance, if you have claims that are made, insurance rates generally tend to go up. So my thought is that if I have a claims made policy, if anything should ever happen and then I need to buy a tail, my guess is that my insurance rate is going to be significantly higher, and or the ability to buy a tail could be not granted. So that's why I chose an occurrence versus a claims made type of policy. So I also chose a carrier that is an admitted carrier. So there's two different types of insurance carrier per state, and that's admitted or non-admitted. Admitted means that they are admitted into the insurance fund for the state. This means that they have filled out all of the paperwork, they have lasted longer as an insurance company, and they continue to pay into state funds a certain percentage of the policy amount to back up their policy. So they are state-backed insurance companies, which means they have a larger pot of funds. And if anything happens to the company and they become what's called insolvent, in other words, they don't have enough money to pay their obligations, then the state steps in and they help either reorganize the company or they help to liquidate assets or partially pay those claims that are made against the company, so that your coverage is stronger and has better financial backing than just the company alone. So that's what an admitted company is. A non-admitted just means that they don't pay into the state, they don't have the state backing, and they may have deep coffers, they may be a large company, they may have assets that would be sold off in the event that they could not pay their debts. It just means they don't have the state backing and they haven't done the admitted carrier status through the state insurance boards for the states that you're in. And some companies are admitted in some states and non-admitted in others. In one example that was put out there, I believe it's through the ANA information on admitted and not admitted, but that is that, like Lloyd's of London, is admitted in some states but not admitted in all states. So you might want to check with your state insurance board or check with whomever you're covered. Okay guys, so this is a copy of my certificate of insurance, or COI. Things that you need to look at on here are mostly the upper left shows the insurance carrier, and then it shows the insured name for the policy. So that's the policy holder. The policy holder is the one that makes decisions for the policy. So if your name is listed below at the very bottom, but not at the top of the policy, that means you are not the one that should be paying for the policy. Most of the time, if you ask for your copy of insurance from a large group or the group that you work for, it's not one that you pay for, it's one that they pay for. Your name won't be at the top, it'll be at the bottom. In other words, you're covered by the policy, but you're not the one that makes decisions for the policy. So that's something to know. And then you're going to look at the type of policy that it is. So at the bottom of the page, you also see that the insurance type is occurrence on here. And you also see the limits of my policy. So a one-time limit and then an aggregate or total limit that is allowed covered by the policy. So these are things that you need to know on your copy of insurance, and make sure you have copies for the entire time that you have been a CRNA. Anytime you go someplace or leave a place, you need to get a copy of your logs, and you also need to get a copy of your insurance face sheet. That way that you always know that you have been covered and who you are covered by for the time that you were at that place. Okay, so you guys remember when I talked to you in the credentialing video. This is the report from the National Practitioner Data Bank. So if you haven't gotten this and you haven't looked at it in a long time, I recommend you go to the National Practitioner Data Bank. Its website is very easy. Let me look it up here real quick. It should just be, what I did is Googled NPDB, National Practitioner Data Bank on Google. It comes up. It's from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. It's also how they look at your NPI number and your licenses across the board. So this would be all information that's reported by malpractice and health insurance and for your NPI. So this is something that you need to have and you need to look at. It's a $4 self-query. All you do is put in your information, put in your profession, and then it searches its database to see if there's anything that comes up with your name, your birthday, your social, or your NPI. So good information to have. It's something that most places before you get hired will also have you do. All you have to do is put in your information, you get an email report, and then you also get a sealed envelope with your results in it. Some places may ask for that sealed envelope to be sent to them. It's kind of up to them. So guys, we talked about the malpractice insurance occurrence versus claims made with a tail. We talked about the National Practitioner Data Bank, the self-query, your NPI number, which you can always Google, it's public information, and your copy of insurance information. All of this is really important. It's things that you need to know, especially as you take care of yourself and take care of your career. It's a lot of information that you may not have heard before, you don't remember hearing. I think for me during school, we got 1, maybe 2 days, a lecture or two on insurance and information, and it was all part of our kind of fundamentals class. But it's good information, and it's something that you need to have, you need to be aware of, and I hope this was helpful. As always, please subscribe to the YouTube channel if you want more information. I'm going to put this up for the CRNAs and SRNAs as well as the locumCRNAs because I think it's great information. I hope it's been helpful for you. I know it's kind of that dry material again. Unfortunately, we can't get away from some of the dry stuff, but hopefully we can get some more information, some more talk about it, and people to comment below. As well as on those pages. I'm also going to put this up on the locumCRNA website, so locumCRNA.com. It'll be under the videos. If you need to share it or if you need to get back to it, that's definitely a way to do it. So locumCRNA.com, go to the videos. You'll see it there along with all the other videos. Subscribe to the channel. We'll definitely get you more information, and I hope to continue these videos for you, and I hope you find some use for them. Thanks so much, and have a great day. Bye-bye.